All right, all right. Yes, it's your boy Mike D, and we are back for another installment of the Bills edition. I'm joined by my man Matty Ice. Matt is in the building. Yo, we don't
Sir,
we
hey,
need a
what's
we
going
need a
on?
podcast, a name for this joint. You got any suggestions, bro?
Nah, I think we should let the fans decide, man. I'm gonna come up with something corny like Bill's Corner, or
Yeah, since we aren't
yeah.
affiliated with the team, I'm trying to keep it to. I was
I,
thinking like the B-Low show or something. I don't know.
yeah,
We
I
we
don't know
figure something out. But
for
we
sure.
are all Bills all day. Like Raz said, we about the Bills.
Yes,
Call us
sir.
Buffalo, like my man Lil Wayne said. So so Matt, just us two today. Preach may join us. No Rad, no Mills, but hey man, we still gonna talk Bills.
Yeah,
We love Bills. We're gonna
it's
talk
that
Bills.
time.
So
It's
let's
that
get
time.
into it. Man, the season start in 2 weeks
Excited.
or in a week,
Next
1 week,
week,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
next
Next
week
next
Sunday.
Sunday.
So in the 53 man roster, got to be in. I think by Saturday, maybe about 4. You know what time?
I think 4 o'clock tomorrow. I think it's
So
tomorrow.
so okay, by tomorrow. Okay, so the 53 man roster tomorrow. So Matt, man, here we go. Priest is joining us. He is walking around. So
He's alive. He's alive.
But we're gonna keep going, Matt. So 53 man roster, man. You are the Bills fanatic.
Sir.
When we started this installment, we was like, okay, we need somebody that is all in on the Bills all the time,
Yep.
and that's you.
Yeah.
So
Somebody's
please,
got.
so go ahead and give us the 53 man roster and what you think. What you think about it?
All right. Well, I mean, these are all predictions here. We're going to start with the quarterback group. Obviously, the lock of the group is Josh Allen. Then we got Matt Barkley. I think it's everybody was saying Jake Fromm when we drafted him. He was,
Mr.
he's
Insurance.
going to step into that number 2 role. And I guess reports out of training camp was that he didn't really quite have it. So they're going
Of
to
course
keep
not.
Matt Barkley around. And then I think they are going to keep Jake Fromm because he has a lot of upside, and then that means that Davis Webb is going to be on that cut list out of the 4, which I don't think anybody's going to argue.
So wait, it's from practice squad or are we carrying
I,
3?
I, I think we're going to carry 3. I think we're going to carry 3.
Wow.
Yep. These are just predictions, though. I don't think I think that Davis Webb can go back to the practice squad. I think we're going to keep 3 though,
Okay.
just in case. Sorry, there's a if anybody can hear this crazy dog next door, it's just going nuts right now.
You good.
So, but yeah, then we're gonna go to the running backs. We got these are my predictions again. Obviously, Motor Singletary and Zach Moss are the locks. Then you got the veteran of the group, which is T.J. Yeldon. I think we keep him around, including fullbacks in here. We got Pat DeMarco. He's going to stay, obviously.
70-yard bombs coming for Pat DeMarco. More of those coming.
Patty D. And then I think we're going to keep 5. I think that Christian Wade is going to make it.
Wow.
Everybody's in on Tywan Jones. I think we keep Christian Wade. I think he showed his flashes last year in the preseason. Now, I think if he would have had another preseason, I think he would have been on. So that means that the cuts are going to be Tywan Jones and Reggie Gilliam.
Okay.
All right. Then we're going to go to the big, or actually, we'll go to this group, the tight ends. We got our lock in Dawson Knox. We got Tyler Croft. Tommy Sweeney went on the PUP list today.
Okay.
So
I didn't hear that.
Yep, he went on the PUP list. So we're gonna keep him on the PUP list, and that's gonna add another spot for a guy that I am not too big of a fan of, but he is very big in the running game, which is Lee Smith.
Lee Smith.
He's the most penalized dude I've ever
Oh
seen in
my
my
God!
life.
I never seen so many holders every single time he's on the field.
Man. But I guess they love him in the running
in the
game.
In the room, he good. He good on the chalkboard.
He's there somehow every time, and I don't like. He's back though. He was on the Raiders. He's back to us. But that means the cut list is Jason Kroom, who a lot of people have been talking about, and Becker. Those guys are out of here. My predictions. Then we got wideouts. There's going to be people aren't. I don't know. Wideouts got our locks and Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, John Brown, and Gabriel Davis. I think our locks.
Wow. Okay.
Then our we got Andre Roberts. We got him in the return game, so he's got to be a lock for me. Just he was a Pro Bowl guy, Pro Bowl returner, so we got to keep him. The rookie Isaiah Hodgins, I think that they probably like him enough to keep him on the roster. He's a big body and can move. And then Duke Williams, I'm thinking he's done enough in his short time to get that roster spot, but that leaves the cuts and two guys, and Robert Foster and Isaiah McKenzie. I think those guys are out.
Robert Foster, I agree with. He didn't do anything last year, but Isaiah McKenzie, man, they used him so much with that jet sweep formation.
Yep.
That's tough. That'd be a big loss.
I think that they kind of move maybe Andre Roberts in that spot, or we can see what Gabriel Davis can do in those situations.
So you think it's easier for Andre Roberts to take over the Isaiah McKenzie role versus Isaiah McKenzie taking over the Andre Roberts role and returning?
Yeah, just because of the return game, he's such a good returner for us, or at least he's proven to be.
Yeah.
And then they don't want to put Micah Hyde back there all the time, so that would that you got to keep him on defense. Offensive tackle, we got D-Doc. Just gave him a big contract.
No University.
Yes, sir. Ty Secchi, Daryl Williams, who we brought over from the Panthers, and Ryan Bates. Those are, I think we're going to keep 4 there. So we're going to cut Victor Sulaco, Brandon Walton, and Trey Adams. Those guys are out for me. Guard, or interior O-line, I should say, is guard center. We got Quentin Spain, Mitch Morse, who's our center, Evan Baum, and Cody Ford. They've been flirting with him at guard, so I like that. I think he's going to be a really good interior lineman for us if they play him a lot there. On the IR list is John Feliciano. He had that pec muscle injury, so then that means that the guy we brought over signed Brian Winters. He's out. Ike Botker and Marco Harrell. They're out for me. Then we go over. Guys. Let me go over to the defense. We got guys, we got our locks, Jerry Hughes, AJ Epineza, who we drafted in the second round, and then Mario Hudson, who we brought over from Carolina. And then, like Rad was saying last week, I don't love this keep, but I think we're going to keep 4, and I think Trent Murphy is going to stay on the roster. And that means that Daryl Johnson, Mike Love, and Brian Cox Jr. are out. And then we're going to go to the D-tackle, actually. D-tackle. I think our locks are Quentin Jefferson, Harrison Phillips, and Ed Oliver. And then I think we're going to keep a 4th one in Vernon Butler. And that means the cuts are going to be Tanzel Smart, Vincent Taylor, and Justin Zimmer. Now, Harrison Phillips and Ed Oliver, I think, are going to get the bulk of those snaps. I saw a clip yesterday. They asked Harrison Phillips, hey, are you, how is the injury? How is coming back from the injury? If McDermott needs you to play 5 snaps, that this might be misquoted, but if McDermott needs you to play so-and-so snaps, can you do it? He said, I can play 250 snaps against the Jets if you need me to.
I could play 250 snaps.
Well, it wasn't just against the Jets, but it was opening day. They were more or less asking if he was ready for opening day.
I heard they say like the Jets. I mean, that's not much. That's not saying much.
We'll come into our predictions with that one too. But our next group is going to be linebacker. Our locks, we got Tremaine Edmonds, Matty Milano, AJ Klein, and then Tyler Medikevich, who I talked about last week, a big special teamer. And then we just traded for Andre Smith. I think he makes the team. And then we got Tyrell Dodson, who is going to round that group. I think we're going to keep 6. That means the cuts are going to be Delshon Phillips, Corey Thompson, and a guy who I thought might have been pretty good, but he got hurt last year, is Vashon Joseph. I think he's not going to make the team. I haven't heard much about him. Then we go to another group, corners. We got our locks, obviously, in Trey White, Josh Norman, and Levi Wallace and Teron Johnson. I think are our 4 locks in that position. I think we're only going to keep 5. I think we're going to keep the guy we drafted in the 7th round, and Dane Jackson. I heard that he was hurt. He's been hurt a lot in camp, and but I heard when he was playing, he was doing pretty well. So that leaves our cuts in Cam Lewis, who I think could probably go back to the practice squad. So he may get called up by year's end. And then Brian Allen. Then go to our next group. It's a pretty easy one here. Safety group. I think we're going to keep 5 safeties also because those guys play in different spots. We got Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are locks. You got Dean Marlowe and Cyril Neal. And then Jaquan Johnson rounding out that group. The cut is going to be Josh Thomas.
Okay.
Then the last group be our last 3 because we're at 50 right now. Be our specialists. So those are locks. And Tyler Bass because we cut Hauschka. And then Corey Bojorquez and Reed Ferguson, the long snapper. So that's going to round out our 53. I think that's going to be the opening day roster. I guess we can compare it next time, tomorrow, or whenever they release it. But that's what I'm going with.
I'm gonna say, yeah. Send me a list of that, and then I'm gonna do a comparison and put it up to see how accurate you were.
Okay.
I mean, once you get to 48, I think like that's solid. And then the last 5, who knows?
I mean, it's easy to pick, the starters, right? So
yeah.
The starters, and then maybe a couple like corner reserves and receivers. But receiver is always tough because you got it. This year, I think it was our deepest year at receiver. It was kind of hard to pick them out, but
yep.
Yeah.
All right. So, and that's why I love you, Matt, because like you care about the whole 53 roster. I only care about really 22. So let's talk about the players that's going to be on the field who we need to make a big impact if we plan on having a season that we think we can have.
Yep.
So let's start with the most important position I think in sports. That's quarterback. Your boy Josh Allen. Give me some predictions on him. What do you think his season is going to look like?
Well, I mean, you got like I said last week, your Ferrari and Stephon Diggs. So you got a guy who should instantly increase your stats and your production on offense. And then hopefully it gets complemented by the 2 running backs we have who can also catch the ball really well. I think Josh Allen this year he makes the leap, and I think he gets over 20 touchdowns thrown this year, and I think he cuts down on his running. And his passing yards go up. How many yards did he have last year? I think like 3,300 or something.
3,000.
I think he goes over 4 this year.
Really? That's a big jump.
It's a huge jump. But like I said, you got guy. He's gonna get multiple 300-yard games this year too. Was another prediction for my.
Can he just get one? I just need one.
I'm gonna give him more. I'm gonna give him multiple.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned Diggs. I got big yards for Diggs this year.
Yes. Yep.
I think his catches. Let me just give you a stats for last year. Last year, I think he had 63 receptions, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. I think his receptions stay around the same, but I think he see maybe above 1,200 yards. I think the Josh Allen and Diggs long ball is going to work this year. So I'm thinking Diggs may be looking at 4 catches a game, but like 80 yards. I'm thinking he's gonna get a lot of at least 125 plus yard catch a game. That's what I'm hoping for Diggs.
Yeah, and then I also like Gabriel Davis, catching some of those bombs too, or getting some big chunks. Dawson Knox also. So if you can hold on to the ball.
Well, I say we talked about I think Brady a while ago, and we talked about on our other pod on Fantasy Pod, we talked about Brady, and I told people like, if you need a tight end late, like don't be afraid to get Gronk because he may not get you the yards, but Brady trusts him. So when I think Josh Allen, he trusts John Brown. So I think he may not have the yards and the touchdowns, but I think first down, those third downs, that's what quarterbacks make their money.
Yeah.
So I think that third downs when you need a reception, you need the chains moved. I think John Brown going to be the guy. I think last year he had about I think he had 53 first down catches out of 72 receptions. I think that number even increases to like around 60. I think a lot of his catches are going to be first downs.
Yep. Yeah,
I think Allen going
especially him being able to be in a number 2 role. Again.
number 2 role. Yep.
He started out his career in the number 2 and he flourished with Larry Fitz. I think this is going to be a similar situation.
Yep. But I think when he was with there, he was more of a just straight burner, get down the field. I think they're gonna use Diggs in that role more and let Brown work. And with Beasley, I got Beasley numbers taking a hit because the yards and catches gonna go to Diggs and Brown. But I got his touchdowns going up. You're seeing late in the season, when Josh was throwing a lot of outs to him, like 2-yard outs to Beasley. I think that continues. And I think Beasley see around 8 touchdowns this year at least.
Yeah, I'm with you. That dude, he can get open in space. And even, you've seen it in the Dallas game against his former team.
Yeah.
Josh made a crazy throw on that 1 third down. But Beasley is a dude that I always look forward to games like this dude is wide open. I can't believe Josh didn't just see this dude. He's wide open on 3rd down. He could have just thrown it to him easily. That's the easy one. But I'm with you.
And I don't think Dawson Knox take a leap enough for him to be Allen main red zone target. So if it's not Moss running it in, if it's not Allen running it in, I think it's Beasley catching it.
I think touchdown. And then I guess it's just me falling in love with the Gabriel Davis hype, man. It's just the man's a big body. He goes and gets the ball, and I think he's a red zone guy. So but this is going to be the year Josh is going to make the leap.
It's every year. It's some 6'7" receiver, whether it's Justin Hardy, or James Hardy, whether it's Duke Williams or last year. It's always some big 6'7" wide receiver that is going to come in just like turn into Randy Moss that we draft. So I hear you. I hope he does, but
me too.
I don't know. All right, Preach is here. Preach, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
People have been wondering, like, where Preach at? Like, what's going on?
Where you at? My man was in the sink for a second.
Listen, it's a lot going on.
I see. You out? Are you outside? Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm at home. Yeah, okay. I'm at home. I'm outside, so yeah.
I love it.
Rad couldn't make it. He had dad stuff going on.
That Rad. So Preach. So we just talked Josh Allen. We just talked to receivers. So I'm gonna put you on the spot here. I know you just joined us, but I'm throwing you on the spot. You can handle it. You Preach, for God's sakes. Give us a little about the season that you think Devin Singletary and Zach Moss are going to have. Maybe some stats, touchdown numbers. Is anything you think the fans need to know about our backfield this year?
I'm glad you said that, Mike, because I'm coming in with a hot take. I think we should sign Adrian Peterson.
Really?
Honestly, honest to God. I think
this morning,
yeah. I think Devin Singletary is not good enough. I think he has some talent. Don't get me wrong, he has some talent, but what we need, and it's funny because Adrian Peterson dealt with some fumbling problems as well, but I can't have Devin Singletary fumbling the ball for us. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that his pass protection is good enough, and we can't rely on a rookie in Zach Moss to just, take, everything over. So I think we need to get a veteran in there. And as far as statistics, I'll say for Zach Moss, I'm seeing about 8 to 10 touchdowns. I'm seeing about 8 to 10 touchdowns.
Trent Richardson rookie year action. It's a little Trent Richardson rookie year action.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, if they said that he's getting the
Frank Gore goal line
role. Yeah. Okay. So I think Frank Gore had about, I want to say 16. It's either 16 or 24.
It was 23 carries within the 5-yard line. Yeah, and 1 touchdown.
Exactly.
It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I can't believe it.
Yeah, every time Frank Gore got the ball, we kind of dropped our heads. So for me, so for me, I'm gonna be honest. I think Zach Taylor he's a good enough player. I mean, Zach Moss is a good enough player, but I'm not too sold on Devin Singletary. I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
I think Preach. It's funny. I agree with you. I think Singletary is a good player, but he's like almost like, I don't know. It's hard because he's not going to get the workload to get crazy numbers, and he's not fast enough, or he doesn't have that breakaway ability where like a Tariq Cohen who can go for like 70 on one play. Like his big runs are 20-yard runs, 25-yard runs where he make everybody miss like 7 times, but only go for 20 yards. So right. I'm scared about his numbers, but Zach Moss, I think his touchdowns are going to be crazy. It's going to be almost LeGarrette Blunt-ish, where he just get you 1-yard touchdowns, every game.
Yeah. I think both of those guys they can I don't know I don't like that people don't think that those guys can go for longer touchdowns.
Well, I need to see it then. I mean
Zach Moss is the Pac-12 Player of the Year last year in a conference with Oregon, and he was Offensive Player of the Year. I'm sorry, in a conference with Oregon and USC and guys that usually put out really fast, really good running backs, and he was the guy. So.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not saying he's not a good player, but at least, especially with Singletary, like, you can say you don't like that people say it, but we got a year of tape of him not breaking. Like, McCoy had multiple, almost 75-yard touchdown runs.
Yeah.
Versus Singletary, like, his big runs were 30 yards.
30, 40, I got you.
So that's my only – so that's why I worry. But this is more fantasy-wise. About Singletary numbers, but as far as production, like he's gonna be very productive. But I don't think he's gonna get you crazy yards or crazy touchdowns this year. All right. So we covered the offense. Let's go to the defense, which is the bread and butter of this team.
Well, before we switch over though, another thing that comes up every year is like OCs or DCs. If they have, obviously, if our offense makes the jump, how I think it's going to be, is Brian Dable going to be a hot candidate for next summer? I'll start. I don't think so, because I don't think that. I don't know. I don't think he's a great offensive coordinator, so I don't think even if we do make the jump, that he's going to be a hot candidate. I think he's going to stick around if McDermott keeps him here. But that's my take on that.
What you think about that, Pritch? You think Dabo gonna be out there getting a job next year?
I don't think so, because I think the league is moving. Well, it's kind of messed up because college football is in kind of a frenzy, but the league is kind of moving to like a great college football offensive coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Head coach, but like offensive coach.
Yeah.
And so I don't think, and to be honest, we're not gonna average 30 points a game. So, I mean, like, what will be the point? Like, it's not like he's coming out with this amazing offense. You know what I'm saying? He's not Mike Shanahan or anything like that. So, no, I doubt it.
The K-gun or something like that, yeah.
Well, I guess let me push back on y'all, because he did draw up almost 1 touchdown a game that Josh Allen didn't convert. I mean, it was every single game where it was a bomb that somebody was wide open by NFL standards, 2 or 3 steps from somebody, and Allen completely overthrew it. So if Allen complete those, we do average 25 points a game, and I think that's different. So, and I think he will be a candidate if he takes the jump that Matt is talking about, right? Because you have to take in perspective that the quarterback is Josh Allen. Josh Allen, people like him, but he has his doubters. And even coming into the league, he had his doubters. But if Dable,
in the show,
well, I'm not doubt. I guess I do doubt him. I'm not gonna lie. But if he turned Josh Allen into, I don't know, 30 touchdowns, 10 rushing, 4,300 yards, like, to me, that is doing a lot. Like, that says a lot, and I think that might hold more weight than somebody else who is doing it with, like, Baker Mayfield, who people have hold up in higher regards. So we see though, but I think if he do it, he might get a couple calls. I mean, all you only need is 1.
Yeah, true.
All right, so now let's get over to that defense. All right. So I want to talk about the young player that we have, and that is Tremaine Edmonds. Because he's super young, he's ready, talented, and I think he may be ready to take a jump. But Preach, what does he need to do to become a household name, at least around Buffalo, where it's like my mom is saying, like, hey, you see what what Tremaine Edmonds did last game. Like, just to get to that level, like, he don't got to be Ray Lewis, but just get to a level where everybody in Buffalo knows who he is. Kind of like when London Fletcher was here, or Takeo Spikes. Like, Takeo Spikes is almost a legend in Buffalo. So what does Tremaine Edmonds need to do to get to that type of level this year?
I think it's more of a persona. Of course, like he needs to have upwards 130, 140, 150. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as tackles is concerned, like he obviously, that goes without saying. He needs to have maybe a couple picks in there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even a pick for, a return, a pick six. Yep. You know what I mean? Something like that. And some, you know what I mean? But for me, I think it's more of a persona. Like London Fletcher, he was a leader in the locker room, and he had the persona that he was our best defensive player, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, he kind of had that swagger, and I see it in Tremaine Edmonds. I think it's early for him, but he's a dog, man.
Yep.
He's all over the field, everywhere, and I think his covering is getting better. You know what I'm saying? He's starting to understand schemes better and understand his placement on the field, as opposed to, tight ends and the slot receiver. I think for him to take that next leap this year, I think it's gonna happen. Hopefully, they'll send him more as far as a blitz package. You know what I'm saying? If he can get a couple blitz packages in there, because for us, I think in Buffalo, sacks matter, right?
Bruce.
Yeah, that's what we look at as far as a defensive player. Bruce Smith, like that. That is our barometer. So if he could give me like 6, 7, 8 sacks in at that position,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
No, it is. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if he could, you see what I'm saying? Like,
like a Luke Kuechly or something crazy.
Tackles for losses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that.
Yeah. Strip sacks.
Yeah. That's it for me. Is forcing turnovers or just being everywhere. At every play. The Luke Kuechlys or the Patrick Willises or the Ray Lewises of the world, they were in on everything. And I think he definitely needs to be that to up his game. I mean, his game is already up, but I think this is also the year he's able to be more vocal and take over the defense how he wants to.
Yeah, well, especially with Alexander being gone, right?
Yep,
that he was the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think Edmonds is the guy. Kyle Williams is gone.
Yeah,
Alexander is gone. Like, all right, and not to say that Trey White is not a leader, but normally it's tough to lead when you're a cornerback out there on that silo.
Yeah, you just gotta.
Yeah,
you're focused on shutting down that best guy.
You
just gotta kind of gotta play.
Yep,
and,
exactly.
I like that Edmonds is out there, so he can be him and guys like Milano can just go play.
Yeah, those guys. They ball.
Edmonds is the ringleader out there, and everybody else just gets to go play while he also plays. So that's the other good thing.
So all right, so we talked. Priest missing sacks. That Edmonds need like 6 or 8. To really, for my mom to be like, yo, man, that Edmonds guy is really good. Kind of like, I don't think he loved the defensive player since Bruce. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we do have a high standard here in Buffalo. But we have Mario, and he had 16 in 1 year. So do we have do one of our defensive ends or tackles, do they get 10 sacks this year, Matt?
I think you hit the nail on the head last week as far as the rotations. I don't know if guys play enough snaps to get the double-digit sacks, but I think if there is one guy, as long as and I just talked about Lee Smith being the most penalized guy on offense, Jerry Hughes in his career at the Bills has been the most penalized guy on defense, whether it's after the play or just whatever.
Offsides all the time.
I think he's the one that can get it, especially with I think Ed Oliver's going to come into his own this year to solidify that middle with Harrison Phillips. So I think Jerry Hughes is the guy if somebody's going to get double digits this year. I
think Preach got some breaking news. What's going on with her, Preach?
I don't necessarily have breaking news. No. I mean, there was some breaking news that I just seen, but I want to push back on what Matt said. The breaking news wasn't. I'm sure you'll see it. So it's not breaking to y'all when y'all see this. But Mitchell Trubisky was named the starter over Nick Foles.
Really? I just dropped to Anthony Miller, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm upset. So fantasy show tomorrow or whenever it comes out. Y'all understand. But anyways,
It's wild. It's wild in Chicago right now. It's
Matt
wild.
said he said a buzzword for me,
Uh-oh.
and his name is Jerry Hughes. Jerry Hughes is probably one of the worst players in football. I'm gonna be honest. And let me say this: I apologize to Jerry Hughes because he could be a guest on this show. Jerry Hughes is given. Actually, I've been a beneficiary of some of his tickets at the game, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but I just got to be honest, man. The guy is terrible. Like Jerry Hughes doesn't do anything for us, and I wanted to move on to Jerry Hughes last year, maybe the year before. It's just like he always sets us up high, and this dude is like, what I'm saying is, Matt hit the hammer on the nail. He's always penalized and never gets sacks. Like he doesn't get sacks. Like whenever we need a big play, I never hear Jerry Hughes' name. Like we never hear it. It's just like, how many times did you sack Brady? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm interested in. How many times did you sack Brady when Brady was with the Patriots? I can't name one. I literally can name one time he sacked Tom Brady. And that's my biggest issue. Like when we need him to come up, he doesn't do anything for us. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm donezo with Jerry Hughes. Like I don't even like his name.
No, I mean his production has definitely dipped since we got him. I mean he had the two years out the gate when we got him. He had the double-digit sacks, but other than that, no, I can't agree though that I can agree that obviously he's the most penalized guy on our team. Him and Lee Smith, they're like the poster child for penalties.
But I mean, at least Jerry do a little something. Like Lee Smith does absolutely nothing.
He does nothing. But now I beg to differ though. I think Jerry Hughes is one of those players who's in on everything. He affects a lot of the quarterbacks. He might not show up in the sacks, but I think he affects a lot of plays and a lot of our turnovers. That's just my opinion watching the games.
No, I'm gonna bring an example because Matt would know this. People don't know Matt was a all-pro lineman at Hutch Tech High School, and one of the things that they would teach linemen, especially tackles, is like if this DN wants to run to no man's land way back there, let him do it. And I kid you, every time I watch Jerry Hughes, all he does it like I don't even know if they box in the NFL. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but all he does is just run straight. Yeah. And like the tackle does is just like nothing happens. He doesn't. It's just so frustrating. The quarterback just moves up in the pocket and he boom.
The thing. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I wish Rad was on the show because he was an all high DN, but they have jobs to do. If you I get it. I get what you're saying, but sometimes the play might be going a certain way where it kind of looks like that, and something like a guy like Milano or Siren Neal is coming in on that blitz that they should finish. You know what I'm saying?
It should finish. Let's ask Deshaun Watson about that.
Yeah.
I would say this. I don't think Jerry is the worst player in football. I mean, Priest doesn't think that either, but I would say that. I think he is like, we've seen this in basketball lately with Richard Jefferson, but I think Jerry Hughes is a Pippen. Like he need the Mario Williams on the other side. He need the Marcel Darius and the Kyle Williams so that he is the least worried about person on the line.
Yeah.
And he can get those 10 sacks. But when he is the guy that they game plan for, you do see the dip. He did have a lot of hurries last year.
Yeah.
But he just don't finish the job. I thought he almost did it against the Browns, but we all know how that game ended.
Yeah. Well, as long as he's not taking his helmet off and smacking quarterbacks with his helmet, getting more penalties this year, then I'll be good with him.
All right, so I want to say the best for last. So, but I do want to talk about our safeties because our safeties are dope.
Yeah.
Like they are underrated. They don't get the Legion of Boom respect.
They openly let it be known too on social media. It's chop liver. But I'm actually glad the media doesn't portray them like that because they come out and produce every year, and I appreciate that out of them.
Yeah, I don't care too much about that. I mean, the Legion of Boom produced, and they had a nickname. Like the best teams are going to produce 85 Bears, 2,000 Ravens. Like you get coverage, you're just going to produce. But they aren't. They may not be ET and they may not be Chancellor, but the way they work together Hoyer Employer.
Hyde Employer.
And Hyde Employer. Like I call him. My bad, Micah. Hope potential friend of the show. The way that they work together, I think, is amazing. And a lot of that got to do with McDermott and his scheme. But let me know, what should we expect from our safeties? Would it be top 5 interceptions this year? Or, I know interceptions and turnovers is a stat. It's hard to predict. It's kind of random. But do you think those guys can get top 5 combined, top 5 safety in interceptions?
I'll be quick.
Yeah.
And Matt was just talking about it earlier. I don't know if our scheme is kind of tailored to that. It just all depends. I think the issue is I don't think we kind of funnel the quarterback to do interceptions. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We play tight coverage, and I think that's just it. The quarterback, like, either he's gonna throw the ball away or try to get into a tight window, and it's just not. And it's not. You know what I'm saying? I think we kind of funnel it. Well, at least last year, and I'm assuming Leslie Frazier is gonna implement the same thing this year. But that's I don't think that our defense is kind of for that. Even though Trey White obviously did really good, he's not a safety, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yep. Matt,
what you think, Matt?
I mean, as far as top 5 in the league, absolutely. I mean, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, those guys are ball hawks, and then Trey was tied in the last year for
interceptions.
I know you did say safety only. But yeah, those guys are ball. I think Micah Hyde led the league the year before that. So those guys are definitely ball hawks, and then it comes down to defensive line and blitzing too. Those guys hurry the quarterback. They make it easy for him too. So that's not. But as far as 5, absolutely, I think they could be top 5.
I would say this. I would say that we do have a better D line, so we will get more pressure on the quarterback. More pressure normally means maybe more turnovers. But we play a lot of like good to great quarterbacks.
Yes.
At least good. Like we playing Derek Carr, even though he will turn the ball over. He can have a day on you. Yeah. So we playing quarterbacks like that, and we got Pat Mahomes, Jimmy G, and San Fran, Shanahan. So to say top 5 interceptions, I don't want to go there yet because I think it will be a lot of checkdowns. Oh yeah, we do. We play Sam Darnold and Fitzpatrick.
Sam Darnold, Fitz, and Ryan Tannehill.
Jimmy G,
who we own.
Yeah. So you got some quarterbacks you could get fat on. But I think, like Sam said, our scheme is to keep everything in front of us. Even like that Texan game. No, they played that perfectly. They threw the ball to the running back, checked it down, and he just broke the tackle and got 22 yards.
Yeah.
But I think we keep everything in front of the sticks. If you want to throw it to your tight end or your fullback, we just going to chop them down. Yep. So I don't think they will be top 5 in interceptions, but I think the Bills' defense will still be top 5 in just defensive yards, whatever stats are at the end of the season, regardless that we're playing Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes and Big Ben and everybody.
I'm gonna go with the hot take. I think we're gonna, as a unit, lead the league in interceptions. We got guy. I mean, we brought over AJ Klein, who had a couple, and he had a couple and one for a touchdown. He had one 2-point conversion return. But he had a couple last year for the Saints. We got Matty Milano and Tremaine Edmonds who can cover just about anybody. And I think they can. I think what Tremaine Edmonds had 4 last year, 3 or 4. So I think as a unit, I think we can lead the league in interceptions, especially with the new additions to our defensive line with Epineza and Addison. And that's my hot take.
Preach. Will we finally score a defensive touchdown?
Yeah, I think this is our year. I think.
Hey, come on, man.
It's funny because y'all. Excuse me. I hope.
I say you preach. You good?
Yeah, I'm straight. I hope nobody's seriously hurt. But I think that us playing better teams is kind of going to foster sort of a place where we can get those, pick sixes. You know what I'm saying? Because Pat Mahomes going to throw the ball on us. I mean, it doesn't like they're going to throw the ball. Yeah. And unfortunately, our weakness was run defense last year, if you remember. You know what I'm saying? Like
our pass D is always good.
Yeah, it was fire. But so I think that with the new additions that we got, I think we shored up some things, you know what I mean, on the defensive line. So hopefully, everybody can stay in their lanes, and we can shut down the run defense. But I think the fact that we're playing these top tier quarterbacks, Russell Wilsons of the world, you know what I'm saying, it's going to foster like a situation where we can, the ball is going to be in play.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be up there. It's just we got to be the ones to get it. In my opinion,
Is Rambo getting 2 picks against Aaron Rodgers just because Aaron Rodgers throwing enough passes that somebody gonna catch one for the other team type of thing?
Yeah. I mean, it's like the ball gonna be out there.
Yeah. Okay, I respect that. And I say our pass defense is top notch. So if we shored up that run defense, I know we lost Star, but nah, I can care less about that. All right, lastly, I want to talk about the guy, Trey White, goalie university, because he is the player on the Bills that get the most love, I think. Like people love Trey White. You see, him being the number 1, number 2, top 5 corner. Like not many other players on the Bills get that respect. Like if he was an offensive player, he would go first, second round in the draft. Type of get. That's how good and well respected he is. So Matt, is this the year? I can't remember. Did Trey go all? He went all pro last year. Him and Gilmore.
Yeah, he was all pro. Yep.
Okay, he was all pro. So what should we expect from our all pro corner coming back now? Is he going to take another step, or did we see him at his best already?
I mean, the only thing you could say for him to take another step would be to like he's going to end up scoring some more touchdowns or something, or scoring a touchdown, a couple touchdowns, because you can't really have a much better season. He didn't let up a touchdown. He was tied for leader in interceptions. He was really aggressive on run defense. So it's tough to say how can you do better. But I mean, I think he just stays consistent, and that's all we can ask for him. And another all pro season loading is what I would say.
Yeah, I would say that's the only thing, right? Is when Priest got a new spot, man. Priest had a 3-4 background.
Yeah.
I would say this, like, when you turn that, that's what separate like Ed Reed from the pack, right?
Yeah.
Is you get the interception, but when you do it, like, all right, it might be 6. So I think if Trey, but at the same time, right, he may start getting the Revis effect. That's don't even look his way. He don't look his way.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be tough for him as well. But because teams know now, like Trey is the real deal. Let's not throw to him. So Priest, what do you think about Trey White? You think he has another step in him, or is he the guy that he's going to be the rest of the time, man? Which is good for us, all right? Like, what kind of season do you expect from Trey? Preach, you on mute.
I expect him. It was just a lot of fire things going on around here, but I expect him to have pretty much the same season he had last year. I don't necessarily see another gear. I just see him as a top 5 corner in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think he's Darrelle Revis, or Deion Sanders, but I think he's I'm just saying, like, or even like, yeah, like I don't even. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Champ Bailey, like in their peak years. I don't know if he's like that. That will be another level. But I think he's like solid. Like we don't have to worry about him. You know what I'm saying? You can leave him over there. Whatever coverages we play, whatever person you send to him fast, Tyreek Hill's coming to town. You know what I'm saying? Like, or whoever, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, you name it. Like, I think he's going to do a really, really good job on them. Like, I think everybody he's going to go up against will get sub 40 yards. You know what I'm saying? So that's my Trey White take. I love Trey White. I always tout him.
Yep. I think like he did a great job against D-Hop in that first half, but in the second half, D-Hop is a top receiver. So eventually he get enough touches, enough targets, he will. He can catch some passes on you, and then so that is what it is. All right. So we talked about Dable. I want to talk about Leslie Frazier because for my money, he should have been had a job. the fact that he doesn't have a head coaching job somewhere now is kind of BS. But so Matt, do you think that Leslie Frazier, if the Bills is going to, be a top, 3 defense again, you think he gonna get a call?
Yeah, I think he has to. I mean, I know McDermott is, kind of, I guess, the brainchild of that, but I think you have to add Leslie Frazier in every conversation next summer if the Bills defense comes out and performs how they have been. I don't know how you don't. And I know he's not the most sexy candidate, but you have to give him a call.
How about you, Preach? What you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Leslie Frazier has to. I don't think he will because you see where the league is going. They don't want to hire men of color, and they really don't want to hire defensive coordinators. Like, there are few far in between. Like, if you kind of notice where the league is going, the Sean McVays of the world. You know what I'm saying? The Matt Rugels, so to speak. So I mean, in one sense, I don't want him to leave. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure the Jets have to fire their head coach. Right?
Have to.
Like, he's terrible.
Crazy.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's bad. He's really, really bad. So it's like, will the Jets hire Leslie Frazier? I could see that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not out of the realm of possibilities. But, it remains to be seen. You know what I'm saying? It remains to be seen.
So Matt, this isn't a political show, but he is the Bills' defensive coach, and we talk about things of this, ilk on our other pod. We think it's a sports show where we just talk about everything. But Leslie Frazier, he is our coach, and he is black. So, like, do you think he is kind of being a quote unquote blackballed from not getting a position because he is black, or you think it's more so it's 2020 and the defensive coordinators getting jobs?
Yeah,
It may not happen as much, or people just think or know is Sean McDermott's defense.
And that's the thing is, like, I don't know if they're looking at it like, this is really McDermott's thing, but also I'm also swaying towards the side is this 2020 off. People want the ratings, they want the sexy, the Cliff Kingsburys of the world, the Sean McVays. Matt Rule. Side note: Tyler Matakevich, our new linebacker, he led his number 1 Temple defense in college that got him the job at Baylor. That ultimately moved into the Panthers, but that's a side note. But I think it's more so just the sexy hiring. I think McDermott is like one of the last of the quote unquote boring defensive minded coaches.
Yep.
But
yep, I agree. I think it's a mix. But like because you see people from Sean McVay tree getting a gig, but you get like Eric Bieniemy, doesn't get a job. So we'll see though. We'll see what. Hopefully Leslie get a call that isn't just a Rooney Rule call. Let him get a fair shake, a real job. Cause like he got them boys playing real defense. And McDermott come on after every like post game. I want to give McDermott credit. He said, "Yo, this is Leslie defense. He caused the defense." He says that. He said Leslie caused the defense.
Yeah, I mean, Leslie was a head coach before too.
He was,
and when he was, they had a good defense.
Now, that's a fact.
Yeah. So it wasn't defense has never been an issue for him, but it's always like I said, it's this but the Eric Bieniemy thing is he should be a head coach in this league. 100%, I agree. That dude, he can coach some offense. So.
All right. So we went over the offense projections, the defense projections. We kind of did this last week when we talked about predictions and Preach went through the game, who win, who lose. But I want to get it on record. This is on record, so it's no going back and forth. Preach, give me the Bills win-loss record at the end of 2021 season. What is your record?
11-5. I'm gonna go 11-5. I think that we're gonna take a leap.
I got my schedule.
And I got 11-5.
Wow, let me write that down. Preach 11-5. That's real. That's real. If they go 11-5, I'm talking about give McDermott another extension. Give me another extension.
Yeah.
You pick up the 5th-year option, and this is our team for 20 years. How about you, Matt? What you think?
I gotta go exactly the same. I was thinking 12-4, but there's a lot of 50-50 games that brought me to 11-5. Yeah.
11-5 is a real record, y'all. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah, it's
wow.
Yeah.
The fact that we are having a conversation about the Bills, which is not uncommon for Matt to say 11-5. You probably been saying that since I met you.
I've been saying at least like 10-6. Don't go
crazy.
I'm not crazy. I mean, I am optimistic. I'm not crazy, but this is the year though that out of all the years that we've been having these conversations, I really believe it.
Yeah, because when you were going to tell me that Josh Reed is going to go for 1,000 yards, it's like, all right. But if it's but now we got Diggs and Brown. Like, okay, you got real wide receivers now.
Yeah.
And I'm not there yet. I'm not 11-5. To me, that's a real record.
Yeah.
I think
taking the safe route. I get it.
No, I want to say safe. At max I will go as 10. But I'm at 9-7. I'm at 9-7 just because our record, the teams we are playing are better. Like we playing Pittsburgh with Big Ben. No, it's not. Oh, who did they have last year?
Was it Duck Hodges or
Duck Hodges
Mason Rudolph?
And Rudolph, it's not those guys. So so if we play with Big Ben last year, we might go 9-7 just from that game. So I'm going 9-7, but I think we are a better team. We just playing San Fran, Arizona.
That's terrible, Mike.
Well, 9-7?
9-7 is not the playoffs. You know that, right?
No, I mean the Jets are going to be terrible. The Dolphins maybe go win 6-7 games, and I don't think New England going to win 9. I think New England going to win 8. So that's why I think 9-7, and we're going to split with them. So I think 9-7. I think we still win the division at 9-7. But I think we are a better team. I feel better about us. I think Josh Allen do throw for 300 yards. I think our offense is better ranked. And I think we are a better team, but we just lose one more game. All right. Whew. So next week's show, we got something special for all the guests. And we covering a game. It's a game week next week, y'all boys. Do y'all realize that? Like we talking Bills, Jets next week, not just predictions, not what's the over under. We talking Bills, Jets next week. And I can't wait. I can't wait for football. So preach. So we got something special for the fans for Sundays. You want to tell them about it right now?
Yeah, let me say this to all the fans out there. I know y'all think y'all pundit. We know y'all think you're Stephen A. You know what I'm saying? You think you can't do it. And so we want fan engagement, man. So after every post game, we're gonna recap the game, and we want a fan to come on with us. We want a fan to come on with us. So we need you. We need you to like, but not only like. I want you to comment on the video. I want you to like and comment on the video, and we're going to pick somebody. We're going to pick you. We're going to reach out to you, let you know the time. It's going to be right after the game. You can come on. We're going live. You know what I'm saying?
Live.
You are, you know what I'm saying, Ryan Ruocco. You know what I mean? We don't want no Chris Webbers. Let me just say that now. We don't want no Chris Webbers. You know what I mean? So stay where you at.
Yeah. We already got Mills, so we got Perkins covered. So.
Listen.
Right? Yep. Yes, but if you're gonna like and you're gonna comment, then you have to be at least a little bit sober to come on. Like don't be trying to come on. You I drink or whatever your vice may be. You gotta be a little bit at least sober to come on and talk. Like come on.
Yeah.
So,
we don't want like Barney from The Simpsons coming on, or it's crazy GR callers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So, all right. So I'm looking forward to that, right? Because every week, especially we know on our other pod, and Matt gonna find out, they know way more than we do in the comments, right?
Oh yeah.
They know way more than us. So let's come on. I want to see what you do when Preach get the arms, get the moving, he get the yelling.
I'm one of those commenters, by the way, that I know way
Matt,
more.
Matt is a comment, but Matt, you up here, you feet to the fire.
Yeah.
I want to see what those people do when they get on here and we asking you questions and you can't just sit behind a screen and type. Let's talk. So like this, comment, and before the game or after the game, we're gonna send you the Zoom link. You're gonna come on and we're gonna talk. We're gonna let you talk. We're gonna let you get your shine. 15 minutes of fame, so we love it.
Yep.
All right.
Tap that like button, comment, share our videos if you like them. Subscribe if you like the podcast. Also, our host podcast. We think it's a sports show. Do the same. They're on Apple Music, Spotify. Just tap that like, subscribe if you like us. Let us know, man. Give us feedback. We're all about the feedback.
All about the feedback. So I appreciate that. So Preach, we do appreciate you coming on. You like as always, you improve the show.
Yeah.
And you didn't yell today, so I appreciate that.
I was told, man, that I yell a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to temper that. But I think during the season, if Josh Allen does something that I really don't like, you'll see it come out. I'm just letting y'all know.
I'll let you know right now. I did host today. I am not the host of this show, but I did host today.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you will not have any space to yell. That I will go off on Josh Allen. If Sean McDermott punt at the 27-yard line on 4th and 1, it won't be any room for you to speak. I will take that over, Priest. Don't you worry about that, my brother. But I appreciate y'all. So Mills and Rad will be, I think they will be available next week. We'll be at full strength.
Hopefully.
Talk this Bills, Jets, and say we got something special for you guys. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Saturday. I'm looking forward to talking to y'all. I'm looking forward to going live after the game with the fans. I feel like this season is going to be great. I'm ready to talk about it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I think that's it. If y'all don't have anything else to add, we can go ahead and wrap it up.
Yep, just go Bills, man.
All right, go Bills. Hoo-doo.
Hey.